Hello, this is Lenny, aka MediocreMilton, back with another Fortnite Save the World video. In this video, we're going to be talking about power level, why it's the most important number in the game, and how you can increase yours. If you look at the top left corner of the screen, you're going to see a lightning bolt with a number next to it. Mine shows 129. That is my current power level. Now, why is that number important? That number is important for several reasons. Firstly, it determines how much health you have, how much shield you have, how quickly you regenerate both after taking damage. It also determines how much damage you're going to do with weapons and traps and abilities and gadgets. All the things you need to complete missions successfully in Fortnite Save the World. Secondly, it's important because you need to have certain power levels to meet the requirements to unlock missions. For example, to unlock Twine Peaks, you have to finish Storm Shield Defense number 6 in Canny Valley, as well as launch the rocket, and be power level 70. So if you've rushed through all of your Storm Shield defenses and you are not power level 70, you will not be able to do any missions in Twine Peaks except for your Storm Shield defenses, which will then let you access higher level missions in the special events, but put you at a huge disadvantage. So you really want to focus on leveling up your power level as you're playing through the quest lines, rather than rushing through your Storm Shield defenses, so you're leveled appropriately and can actually access the best missions in the game, which are currently Twine Peaks. Those missions give the most experience points, they give the highest rewards, they have the highest V-Bucks for any missions in the game currently, and so on. Now let's get into let's talk about first how the power level is made up of. So the power level is consisted of your survivor squads and your research. Survivor squads make up approximately 80% of your power level. Research makes up the other 20%. Let's talk about research real quick. So research you can find right here under the command tab, and it's got this, you'll see this, it says research with a number next to it. Now for mine, because I'm such a high power level, I'm almost maxed out. These start at level 1, they go all the way up to level 120. And if you're looking to increase your power level the quickest, your best bet is to level up one category at a time by 10 levels. For example, you should really start with tech and offense because they're more important than your fortitude or your resistance. But in any case, it doesn't really matter. If you start, so let's say fortitude was level 1, you would level that up to level 10, then you level up offense to level 10, then you level up resistance to level 10, tech to level 10, start back over, take this to level 20, 20, 20, 20, 30, and then 30, and so on and so forth until you get to 120. Now, I would recommend doing that early in the game, so maybe taking each one of them up to about like level 30-ish, and then start focusing more on offense and tech, because offense and tech are more important. They make you stronger, you do more damage. You're more worried about eliminating husks than you are about your shield and your health, because if you're killing the husks quickly, they're not going to do as much damage to you. So that's where I would focus on. But if you're just trying to get your power level up as quickly as possible, your best bet in this area is to just increase each one of these at 10 at a time, and then just go back and do them 10 at a time. And I'm going to show you what to do. So right now I have 5,487. It takes 4,200 to increase here. Earlier on, it's much lower. I believe it starts at like 300 and it goes up by 300 increments. So it'll be 300, 600, 900, 1,200. And actually at the bottom right corner, you can see show details. So if you do show details, it's going to show that I generate 350 per hour and I can get, I believe, 8,400 per day. And the most I can store, the most I can have stored at one time is 33,600. Yours might be different depending on where you are in the game. You start out at a lower rate, and as you increase your commander level, that will go up. So once you reach max commander level, you'll reach max generation rate. But real quick, we're going to show you. So I can level up one of them. I'm going to do a fortitude for, sorry. So we increase that, bam. It increased the number by, what was it, a couple, maybe one. Doesn't really do that much. You see big jumps at each 10. So as this bar fills up to the 10th one, there'll be a big jump. Usually probably about a half a bar or more maybe in the early game. I can't remember. Right now, when I got resistance up to 110 yesterday, it bumped me up, I believe, 2 or 3 bars and pushed me from power level 128.5 up to 129.2. So once I reach 120 in this and 120 in this, I will be maxed out at 131 and I believe 1 or 2 bars. I can't remember what it is exactly. So anyway, that's research. Now research is also used for other things. I'll show you that real quickly. So research, some expeditions require research. So if we go down, let's just pick one of these. This one does not require it. Maybe it's the higher level ones. This one does not require it. Okay, this one. So the red toolbox. So you'll see at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it says if I want to do this expedition, I have to use 18 people resources and 50 research points. So it's something to think about. It's probably important to do expeditions throughout. I have a video on expeditions if you want to check it out. I'll put a link down in the description about why expeditions are important. So it might slow you down from reaching max level quicker, but it's definitely worth doing them, if not every day, at least a couple times a week. Also, you will use research points in the transforms for weapons. So if I want to do this, if I want to transform something to make this epic weapon, I'm going to have to use 75 research points. And you do not have to do it for people, as far as I know. I believe it's just weapons and traps. So any kind of any schematics, basically. Yeah. So and then depending on the power. So if it's a common, it's going to be, or if it's uncommon, it's going to be fewer. And then the more, like, once you get up to epic and legendary, you start having to use more. Some of them, I believe, go up to possibly 150 or 200 research. Maybe it might be 400 research points for a legendary survivor or a legendary hero. It's a lot. So you definitely have to think twice before doing that. So that's research. Research, like I said, makes up 20% of your power level. The other part, and the most important part, is your survivor squads. So I'm going to show you my survivor squads. My survivor squads are just about as good as they possibly could be at this point. And I have played, we can check real quick, as of this video, I have logged in for 226 days. So I've been playing for quite a long time. So it'll take you several months to get to this level. And what you're going to see is there are 2 survivor squads for each category. So there's fortitude, offense, resistance, tech, and then fortitude, offense, resistance, and tech. And you're going to see each one has 1 lead position, which is the one on the farthest left, and then 7 subordinate positions. And the most important thing here, it doesn't matter if you have common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, or mythic. You want to make sure you have something in one of these slots if they're unlocked. So you unlock these slots throughout the quest line by completing Storm Shield defenses. Each time you complete a Storm Shield defense, it's going to unlock a couple more of these slots. And as soon as they unlock, you want to make sure you have any survivor is better than having no survivor in here. But let's go into this one. Let's go into this squad real quick. So what you're going to see is this is the EMT squad. Next to EMT squad up at the top, you see the little doctor medical symbol. And you're going to notice that this survivor, lead survivor, is a match. It says doctor. Now, why do you want to have a match for leader? The leader, if you have a mismatched leader, you will lose half of the points. So she's currently providing 270 points towards my fort stats. In this case, fortitude. So that 1236 at the top, 270 of that is from this lead survivor. If I have a different lead survivor in there, even if it's maxed out at level 50, and if it's not a doctor, it's only going to give me 135. Now you also want to have a match because okay, so that's matching. You want to make sure you have matching. And like I said, put the highest rarity level in there for the leader. If you, at the beginning of the game, I know on my second account, for a while I did not have a match in each one of them. Put something in there, but always when you get a match, put it in there. You want to have a matching leader in there, preferably with the highest rarity. I'll go over rarities in a few minutes. After that, the next most important thing is having survivors slotted in each of these 7 slots after it. And like I said, at the beginning of the game, you're only going to have 1 or 2 maybe in each squad. And then as you progress through the quest line, completing your Storm Shield defenses, you'll eventually unlock all 7 in each for a grand total of, was that 56? It's 64. So you have 8 lead survivors and 56 squad members, as they're called, or I like to call them subordinates. And the more important thing here is, the most important thing is having rarity. So real quick, you're going to see in Canny Valley, you can currently unlock 2. There's side quests where you can unlock 2 mythic squad members. So we have Carolina, and then over here we have Joel. Obviously, you want to get those, but you're not going to be able to unlock those till you get to Canny Valley. Prior to that, you're going to want to put in whatever the highest rarity you have. So let's real quick go look at rarity. So I don't have any just sitting around, but we can go in the collection book because I have all the pages completed for survivors. So if we go to the survivors, you're going to see we have common, which are gray, uncommon green, rare blue, epic is purple, legendary is orange, and this is the same for the color scheme you're going to see throughout the game in both Save the World and Battle Royale. When it comes to people, heroes, people, skins, weapons, whatnot, traps and everything. So same kind of thing here. Commons are going to provide you the least amount of fort stats, and legendaries are going to provide you the most, except for those 2 mythics, which you can unlock. So like I was saying, when you unlock a squad, if the best thing you have is a common, that's all you have, just slot it in there because it's better than having nothing. It's going to increase you some amount. Now, ideally, you want to have at least having epic or legendary in most of the slots. Rare's probably okay. I would level up rares maybe to level 10 or 20. but I would kind of try to really focus on saving your survivor experience, which we'll talk about in a minute, for focusing on epics, and then the legendaries when you start getting legendaries, which you also get. You can get legendaries from some quests give you legendaries. There's also legendary survivor mission rewards in Twine Peaks currently. You can get epics. Actually, you can get all of these. You can get rares and epics. And I believe rares are in the first 2 zones, so probably Stonewood and Plankerton, you can get rare survivors from completing certain missions or rewards. And you can get epics from, I believe, Plankerton, Candy Valley, and possibly even Twine Peaks might have epics. I don't remember exactly where you can actually get those. And you can get them from llamas. So when you open up if you open up llamas or event, like the event llamas, currently the winter events going on, you can get survivors from that. You can get survivors from upgrade llamas. We'll talk about llamas later as well. But anyway, that's what you're looking for. You want to have the highest rarity. That's the most important. Now getting back to that screen, go back to the survivor squads. And the next most important thing after rarity is you want to have the personality match. So in this case, May Trekkie Jensen, her personality is pragmatic. What that means, not really that important. It doesn't really matter. You just want to say, so she has pragmatic, and then we're going to see all of my squad members have pragmatic. And what that does is that gives you a bonus. If you have a mythic lead and you have a mismatched, so let's put a mismatch in there real quick just to see what it does. So if I put this person in, this survivor in, even though they're max level 50, if I put her in, I'm going to lose 10 points of fort stats because they don't have the same, she doesn't have the same personality. She has adventurous. So you want to, after rarity, the next most important thing is having the personality match, because the personality match gives you a slight bonus. And obviously, if you get them all matching, you're going to get the highest possible bonus. Now, the third thing you're going to see on here is set bonus. Set bonuses are not that important. It's kind of something to focus on endgame. If you can get them to match as you're going through, that's great, but it's not something to really worry about, because in all honesty, at this point, unless they rework something, the only ones that actually have any real impact are trap durability. So what trap durability does, this adds 8%. It adds 8% to my trap durability. And if we go to the left where we have stats, and we'll scroll down to traps. So you're going to see trap durability at the bottom of the trap section is 148%. So that 8%, if I had none of them in there, it would just say 100% trap durability. Every trap durability bonus you get adds 8%. So you're getting 8%. Now, on the other hand, trap damage, if I have I think it's a 5% trap damage, 5% of 3,361 is basically not even, like, it just doesn't even matter. And you're going to see the same thing for the other things, like health adds 5%, I believe. They're either adding 5 or 8%, and they're really just not that important because you have such a high pull for health. So adding 5% health to 288,000, not really going to matter that much. Adding shield 5% to shield regen, not going to matter that much. But adding 8% to the 100% trap durability is huge. So if you're going to focus on a set bonus, try to always try to do not ever get rid of survivors that have trap durability. That's the best set bonus. So just try to keep those in mind. So yeah, that's what you're looking for. And now, how do you level these guys up? So everybody knows about hero XP and schematic XP. That's how you level up your. Let's go to this XP. So yeah, hero XP helps you level up your heroes. Schematic XP helps you level up your weapons and your traps. And then you have Survivor XP. Survivor XP is probably the most important experience points in the game because, like I said, they increase your power level, and your power level is the most important number in the game, which I think, hopefully I've gotten that point pretty clear as we've gone through this video. So basically, when you're playing through the game, if you have an opportunity while you're completing your quest line to do missions that are rewarding Survivor XP, I would really focus on getting as much Survivor XP as possible. So you can get Survivor XP from missions, but you can also get Survivor XP from recycling or retiring survivors. So let's see if I actually have it. I don't think I actually have any. So if you get a blue, the survivors you want to retire are the rares, which are blue, epics, which are purple. You can retire those. That's okay as long as your squads are already full and you actually have some legendaries. You don't normally want to retire legendaries. You should try to keep as many of those as possible, just in case they decide to add more survivor squads down the road, or if they actually make these set bonuses matter. But just to show you, if I go to retire her, you're going to see on the right, it's going to give me 5,000 survivor XP. So I think you get 2,500 from an epic, 750 from a rare, and then it's less for common and uncommon. And the main thing is you're going to get training manuals as well. But if I wanted to level her up, so these guys have trap durability. I'm not going to level them up right now, but you level up the same way you level up a hero. So you level them up, and you use the experience points. It costs, I think it costs 400,000 survivor XP to take a legendary from level 1 to 50, along with how it's a fair amount of pure drops of rain, lightning in a bottle, then it's lesser of Eye of the Storm and Storm Shard. But you also need training manuals, so that's why training manuals are important. So how can you get training manuals? And I hope, hopefully I'm keeping your attention here, not, I feel like I'm kind of keeping it on track here, but let's real quick do a transform. So if you don't have the Ultimate Edition, you're gonna have the Survivor Transform key, which is rare. If you have the Ultimate Edition, you'll have this one, and this lets you transform survivors into epic survivors, which you can retire and you get 4 training manuals. But most people are just gonna have this one, but that's fine. So basically, you just go in here, and what can you turn into training manuals? So you can turn heroes into training manuals. Like for example, I could put old Jonesy over here, and that maxed it out right there. So one green hero turns into a blue survivor. It's going to cost me 25 people resources, and I'm going to just hit transform. Bam, there I have a survivor. And then what do? Then you go over, you go to survivors. If you don't have a survivor for a slot, that's a good way to get survivors, especially if you don't have any V-Bucks to buy llamas. But in this case, because I have enough, I don't really need her. I basically just go over here. I'm going to hit retire. And as you can see, she's going to give me 750 survivor XP and 1 training manual. And you basically just repeat that process. So really early on, like if you're trying to do your quest lines, the missions I kind of recommend, even though they're kind of grindy and they take the full 20 minutes, you do rescue the survivors missions because you're going to get people resources for the transforms. They normally give 1 or 2 survivor XP rewards. And on top of that, early in the game, let's see if I can actually find them. Where are my quests? Completed quests. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to find them, because they might be buried way down here. There are quests at the beginning where saving survivors gives you giant amounts of... Helps it. So this is an example of saving survivor. No, that's not it. Hold on. We'll find it, hopefully. I have way too many missions in here. That's later on in the game. I'm going to try to go all the way down to the beginning of the game. See if I can find... When did I actually complete them? Nobody knows. Yeah, so as you can see, some of the missions are going to be Survivor XP. The ones I was actually looking for were... They're side quests where they give you... That's not one. I may or may not be able to find this. There's side quests, and it goes up to 20 stages. That's actually what I should be looking for. And the side quests might not be on here. But anyway, there's stages like 1 through 20, rescue the survivors. So you rescue the survivors. Each time you rescue a certain number, it gives you... Early on, it's probably going to give you like 20 or 30,000 survivor XP. But once you get to like the later stages, like stage 19 and 20, I think it's giving over 100,000 survivor XP. So that's another reason why you should rescue the survivor missions. Or if you're in any mission, I still do it even though I'm at endgame right now and don't even really need survivor XP. But I can always use people resources, because people resources... You need to use them for the transforms to get the training manuals, but you can also use them for expeditions. I always, in any mission, if I come across a survivor, unless it's going to be detrimental to me completing the mission, I will go out of my way. I will save the survivor. So if you see a survivor just standing there, go talk to him. If you just have to kill 4 or 5 husks, go talk to him. It might only give you 8 or 10 people resources, but that starts adding up. And if you're playing on a regular basis, just doing those will add up and give you quite a bit of people resources, which you can then turn into survivor XP and training manuals by doing the transforms. Now, is there anything else we need to cover? So that's how you level up your survivor squads. Survivor squads are the most important. And like I said, if you're trying to get your power level up as quickly as possible, my recommendation would be to find 1 or 2, maybe 3 heroes to level up as you're playing. On my second account, I leveled up, I think, 1 of each class, basically. I have 1 Outlander, 1 Soldier, and 1 Constructor that I leveled up that I was using for most of my missions. And then I leveled up 1 gun and 1 melee weapon. And then I focused on traps. But I spend most of my time on that account getting Survivor XP. So whenever I can get Survivor XP, I get Survivor XP. Because it's important. That's how you want to keep your power level equal to or greater than the missions you're actually doing. So like right now, the max mission level in Twine Peaks is level 100, and if you do a 4-player, it's the husks are 118. If you do a 100 and increase the difficulty on the blue glow all the way up, I think they go up to like 130. So basically at this point, I can do any mission in the game, and I'm never going to be overpowered. Obviously, it's a little more challenging if you're overpowered, but early in the game when you're not doing nearly as much damage, like you're not one-shotting most of the Huss, it might take like a half a clip to kill just a Hussy Huss. You want to make sure you have that power level up. And like I said earlier, try to focus on getting your offense and resistance. That's one thing I didn't cover. So when you're leveling up these squads, early on you just want to make sure you get as much in there as possible, but the sooner the better. Focus on leveling up in order: tech, offense, and then fortitude or resistance doesn't really matter. But the main thing is you want to get your tech maxed out and your offense maxed out. So try to get your best survivors in those squads. Try to get your tech and offense to have legendaries as soon as possible, if not epics. Focus on those. That'll make you stronger. If your only goal is just to increase your power level as quickly as possible, you basically just want to level all these up evenly. And one more thing to mention, when you're leveling up survivors, let's say all these guys were sitting here at level 1, and I had whatever amount of XP. I think leveling up a survivor at the first level is like 300 or 500. I think it's like 300 for a legendary. So let's say I just had like a couple thousand. Instead of leveling up one survivor from level 1 to 10, it's better to level up this one by 1 level, this one by 1 level, this one by 1 level, all the way across, and then start back over. And then when you evolve them from 1 star to 2 star, or when they hit level 10, you have to evolve them like you do with heroes or schematics. That'll give you a bigger bump up. So instead of your fort stats going by 1 point, it'll go up by more. I don't remember exactly how much it is. It's more as you go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, etc. So I think that's pretty much everything. But this is why people come to me and they ask, though this is the most important thing, and I guess I should end on this. If your power level at the top left corner is power level 20, 25, 30, or even lower, please do not use weapons that are well above that number. Your power level determines how much effectiveness you do with weapons. So if your power level is only 20, you should probably only be using weapons that are up to power level 34, which would be 1 star. That would be level 10 if you have a legendary. So basically, if you're in Stonewood, use level guns that are up to level 10, which is power level 1 star, which is power level 34. If you're in Plankerton, use up to power level 58, which is 2 star level 20. If you're in Canny, use 3 star, which is power level 82 or level 30. And then after that, it doesn't really matter. At this point, I don't really ever use anything over a 106, except for the special events where some of them, like Frostnite, for example, if you're starting at power level 100, you're quickly going to have Husks that are level 120, 130, all the way up to over 200. That's the case where you would want to use 130 weapons or traps. But when I play Twine Peaks missions, even when I play the 100 4-player missions that have 118 Husks, I use 106 weapons. I don't go above 4 star because it's pretty difficult to farm the 5-star materials. But one thing I always get when people come into my stream is they say, can I have guns? And I ask them, normally when they're doing that, it's probably because they're new to the game. And what they see is they've seen plenty of YouTube videos where people are doing max 130 Sunbeam, pick any weapon, Bundle Bus, Wraith, Siegebreaker, whatever, it doesn't matter, pick a weapon. And they see these people using these weapons and they're killing everything. But what they're not paying attention to is the person that's doing that is also well above power level 100 most of the time, if not even close to max power level. And they're playing in Twine. But the problem is, if I give a level 20 person a power level 130 gun or a power level 106 gun and they're playing in Stonewood, that gun is going to do about 5 to 10% of the damage that it would do in Twine if I was using it. I actually showed people this. I think they were kind of in disbelief. I took my Wraith, went into a Twine mission against 100 level Huss, did whatever damage I did, then went down to Stonewood into a level 3 mission, and using the same gun with the same heroes, did, I think it was 5% of the damage. So you only really want to use weapons that are at your power level or around your power level. If you're, like I said, if you're power level 20, don't go above power level 34 because you're just not going to do that much damage. Your power level determines how much damage the weapons they do. If I'm power level 129 and I have a level 50 gun, I'm going to do more damage than a power level 20 person that has a 50 gun. I'm probably going to do, I don't know the math, I'm not going to go into the math. I'm probably going to do more damage than a power level 20 person that has a 106 gun, just because I am leveled appropriately to use that weapon. So we're not going to get into the whole trade nonsense or whatnot. That's why I'm saying, just when you're playing the game, do your quest, focus on survivor squads. Make sure you're collecting your research and applying it across to the different stats, and just focus on your survivor squads. The most important thing is the survivor squads. And I know, like, the game it mentions survivors a little bit here and there. It doesn't really go that great into detail. It kind of shows people how to shoot. It shows people how to build. It tells you how to do the missions. But one thing it does not do is tell you how to level up your survivor squads, and it doesn't really tell you how important survivor squads are, at least not from what I've seen. And I've played through the game a second time and was still kind of surprised that there was no tutorials on here's how you level up your survivor squads, here's why it's important. So anyway, that's how you increase your power level. The power level is the most important number in the game. You can have a level 130 hero, and if your power level is not even close to that, there's no point. It doesn't even matter. Like, your power level affects everything. Like I said, it affects your health, it affects your shield, how much damage you do with weapons and traps and abilities and gadgets. So focus on getting your power level up. If you ever have any questions, you can leave any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. Or if you ever have any questions about how to increase your power level or anything else for Save the World, you can stop by. I stream Save the World on a regular basis over at twitch.tv/MediocreMilton. I play with viewers, I answer questions. I really like when people come and ask questions, because when people are coming to learn, that's definitely, it just makes me I want to help those kind of people out. And I really appreciate when people come with questions rather than begging for what kind of guns can you give me, or are you going to give away V-Bucks or whatnot. That's not really going to help you. Me giving you weapons is not going to help you play the game, but me giving you information which then you can utilize to make yourself better, and then you can turn around and help someone else get better at the game. It's just going to make the game better. It's going to make the community better, and that's what we're kind of looking for here. This is a great game. I think this game has a long-term potential to be one of the best games that I've ever. It's certainly one of the best games I've ever played. It has a lot of potential, and we just need to get people playing the proper way, focusing on the right things. And your power level, survivor squad, survivor experience are definitely at the top of what you need to focus on. So anyway, if you like the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It really helps out. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. I put out videos on a regular basis. And like I said, one more time, if you would like to play with me, or if you just have questions, hop on over to twitch.tv/MediocreMilton, and we'll get you in for some games. If you meet the requirements for the missions we're doing, we'll get you in for some games. If not, we can at least help you out, or match you up with some other people that are appropriate level to you. So anyway, this video has been pretty long. I think I covered everything. If there's anything I missed, make sure you leave it down in the comments, and I will address that. Maybe do a future video addressing anything I missed. But I think that's about everything that you need to know. Focus on survivors, focus on your survivor squads, and you will be far ahead of 90% of the people that play this game. Anyway, have a great day, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.